You know, it's kind of hard to believe that Steven Universe has been off air for over 4 years at this point. Actually, come March 27th, it'll be five. Five, 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 five. Why does my back hurt all of a sudden? Anyway, I was rewatching some episodes of Future recently, and I rediscovered a song I haven't heard since 2020, which actually helped spark my inspiration for this video.
Just a little time.
Being Human, the end credits for Steven Universe Future and the series as a whole, is such a simple song, but I find those to be the most enjoyable. Rebecca usually loves lyric-heavy tracks, but this one seems to be the exception. However, the lyrics did honestly get me thinking a lot, more specifically on what it means for Steven and the future. In the series finale titled The Future, Steven decides that it's time for him to leave Beat City to see and experience the world. This is a massive turning point for him, as while he's seen the depths of space and traveled places no other human has, he never really experienced the wonders of his own planet. Plus, with everything else in his life moving and changing, it would be counterintuitive to not follow suit. The thing about it though that I find interesting is that this is the first time Steven truly gets to be human. Like, the entire plot of the main show was about him finding out what it means for Steven to be Steven, which meant tackling his gem side along with his humanity. However, the latter was far less explored because of the prominence of gem-related issues. But in Future, the problems he experienced are way more grounded, with the gem half of him, while being a part of it, isn't necessarily the main focus. So let's get more into that. Now, without recapping the entire series, and for simplicity's sake, Steven is incredibly traumatized, like, Jesus Christ. From birth, he has almost always been at the center of every gem-related conflict, regardless of if it's his mom's fault for every single goddamn thing happening to him. Sorry. Anyway, the point is, Steven has been put in so many life and death situations that even after all the major problems are solved by the first episode of Future, his internal conflict isn't. In the episode Growing Pains, this is shown physically by Steven's unnatural swelling and morphing into his pink form. Oh yeah, forgot to mention that he has like a form that taps into his latent diamond abilities thanks to his mom whenever he's emotionally charged. It includes stuff like his anxiety and stress, which, yeah, he has that in abundance, honestly. And due to this, he will often shift into his pink form as a kind of defense mechanism, even when the situation doesn't call for it. His life has always been on the line, and as a result, his body is accustomed to that level of stress, so any stress he feels now is treated like a life-altering conflict. Connie's mom explains this idea further.
You seem to have made a series of miraculous recoveries, but that doesn't change the fact that you experienced trauma. You've recovered physically, but have you recovered mentally?
You think there's something wrong with my brain?
Not wrong. It's that adverse childhood experiences or childhood trauma can have a lasting impact on how your body responds to stress. This can affect your social, emotional, and physical development. When humans are in crisis, the brain releases the hormone cortisol. Your heart races, your muscles tense. I wonder if your body is reacting to a gem equivalent of cortisol.
The reason I bring this up is that it shows that Steven has dealt with so many gem-related problems that he can't deal with everyday human ones in a natural or even healthy way.
My body, it's reacting like it's the end of the world. I think I've seen the world almost end so many times now that everything that goes wrong feels that extreme. I should be feeling so good these days. The Earth is safe, it's Era 3, but I'm swelling up over these third era problems. What do I do? How do I move on from all the stuff I've been through? How do I live life if it always feels like I'm about to die?
His life felt so out of control that he started to become dependent on other people for direction and purpose. He was so desperate that Steven outright tried to propose to Connie because in his head, she'll chart his life along with hers. Let me say that again for emphasis. This 17-year-old boy tried to propose to his 16-year-old girlfriend because he didn't know what to do with his life. My brother, you just spawned. Like, give it some time. Damn. Seriously though, for someone as emotionally intelligent as Steven, he really didn't think this through. Now, to play devil's advocate, there were a lot more external factors that played into that decision, mainly Ruby and Sapphire being like, it worked for us, so it'll work for you. God damn. But even then, it just shows how out of touch he is with his humanity. His whole life, he's been praised and simultaneously ostracized for his gem half that his human half hasn't had time to grow. Future focused on this more in the episode Mr. Universe, where Steven gets actively jealous that Greg's parents gave him genuine structure and a normal life, which is in contrast to Greg's view on his youth, saying it was just them taking away freedom, and so opted to give his son what they stripped away from him. This kind of further shoved Steven away from trying to connect with his humanity, instead going to the diamonds, believe it or not, to try and help with his swelling and the anxiety he had with it, which...
I don't want to be large either. I just want to be me. This is the last thing I needed to see. I don't want to be you. I don't want to be anything like you. What's going on? This is for everything you put me through.
What was that?
Went as well as you can expect. This also leads into Future's other main focus. Now in truth, Future is mainly focused on Steven's mental state slowly crumbling away due to him feeling like he has no purpose. With his friends moving forward with their lives, his girlfriend knowing exactly what she wants for hers, and the fact that the conflict that defined his life had been resolved, what did he want for his own? His entire existence had been driven by the conflicts of others, past and present, and now he has to decide for himself what he wants to do? It's a classic midlife crisis, something many adolescents feel when their main goals have been completed. Maybe you finished high school but you don't want to go to college, or you're going to college and don't know what to major, or maybe you're heading into the working world and feel lost trying to figure out what you can and can't do, and what is enjoyable yet sustainable. Everyone at some point asks the question of, what do I want to do with my life? What's great about this question is, this is the essence of being human. Steven has been so preoccupied with other people's issues and understanding half of who he is, that he never really had a purpose besides doing that. Now he searches for a new one since his first purpose had been completed, which again is a fundamental part of being human. During our lives, we find different reasons to keep living and pushing throughout the day. With each stage of life, that purpose can change drastically or barely at all. These drive us forward and gives us the sense of direction we need to not spiral into darker places. Without them, we feel disappointed, not in control, and worthless. But yet again, this is what it means to be human. This is Steven's journey now, to push through this season of uncertainty and to truly start living. This is what happens at the end of Future. He finally takes his life into his own hands. He gets a therapist and a roadmap of places he wants to see. You know, again, it's funny. He's seen the depths of space but barely explored Earth. He can finally learn to enjoy the world he spent years fighting to protect. He can find a new purpose or even rediscover an old one and make his life something he can enjoy. We'll miss that happy-go-lucky kid we met in season 1, but I'm glad that Steven has grown with us and now we can relate to his more mature problems. Look at him, all grown up and ready to take on the world, and finally start living and truly learn about being human.